Hello there, Carrie Rhodes here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is part of the November Not Too Shabby Digi Challenge, and I am doing this video in collaboration with my friend Biddy Penny. We have been YouTube friends and decided it would be fun to do this challenge together because she also loves playing with the digital stamps from Not Too Shabby. So this month's challenge is to use a digital stamp and a standalone die set. And we also decided we would make a shape card. So I'm going to show you how I did that. I'm opening up the Holiday Latte digital stamp image that I got from Not Too Shabby. I am sizing that down so that it is about just under 4 inches wide so that I can fit it into a slimline envelope. And so once I get that sized, I am going to trace this. So I'm going to open up the trace panel. It's the one that has like a little butterfly in the center. And then I'm going to select the area I want to trace, and I'm going to click Trace Outer Edge. And because I did not increase the threshold, I have all these little bits that I don't want. So I'm going to right click to release the compound path, and then I can erase and delete all those little bits that I don't need. Now there's still some noise or pieces here I don't want to cut, so what I'm going to do is close out my trace window, and I'm going to use the offset button. So I click that, and then I can click offset, and then I'm going to make that so it's a smaller border around and adjust that to 0.04. Then I can remove the original piece and delete that. And then I'm going to release the compound path on the offset I just made and delete those extra pieces that I don't need. And now as I lay this over my digital stamp, you can see I have a very close to the image cut line. So now I'm going to right click on that, and I'm going to group it together as I select both, and then I can move them together at one time. Now I'm going to adjust my page setup so that it is set to media size printer. I'm going to click to show the print border, and then I clicked M on my keyboard to show the border or the kind of lines around there for printing. I also duplicated this so I could print 2 at once. Once I have that ready to go, I'm going to click the printer icon in the upper left corner, and here's what it looks like printed out. And then I just stuck that right to my Silhouette Cameo mat. The registration marks on there are what's going to tell the printer where the images are and how to cut them. So now I'm going to adjust my cut settings, and once I have that how I want it and the right blade depth for my paper and whatnot, then I can push send, and I have already loaded the mat into my Silhouette, and here's what they look like all cut out. You can see how close I was able to get that cut line, and I love it. So now let's make a shape card. So what I'm going to do is remove all those printing lines. I don't need those anymore. I'm going to remove one from the cut mat, and then I'm going to ungroup the second one. So now I only have the cut line. What I'm going to do here is offset this, and I'm going to make this border be about 0.075 actually, to be precise. So now I took away the original, and I'm going to duplicate the one I just made. And then I'm going to scoot that over to the side so you can see it a little bit better. And I'm going to flip it horizontally so I have a mirror image of what I just made. So that way, when I overlap these and close it together, it's going to create a shaped card. So you can see I'm overlapping the two, and then I'm going to select both of them together. Actually, I moved them over so I could make sure I had the bottom of them lined up on the grid of my mat. Then, once I have them overlapped where I want, I will select both and group those together. And then I can trace this. So I will close my offset window here, reopen that trace window, and select the area I want to trace. I'm going to increase the threshold till I have a yellow line, and then click Trace Outer Edge. Now I can remove the original and delete that, and now I have the piece I want to cut. So I'm going to click Send, and then you'll see that turns into a nice thick cut line. My blade is already set to the correct depth, and here it is all cut out. Now, when I fold this in half, you can see how the two pieces line up. That's because I flipped it horizontally and had the mirror image. And here's my print and cut piece, and it's going to fit on there, so I have a really cool holiday latte shaped card. So now let's move on to coloring this image in. I am using a W2 marker to make little V's, or they're almost kind of heart shapes in rows or columns, really. And this is supposed to look kind of like a sweater look, or a woven or knit, cable knit. That's the word I'm going for. It's supposed to look like a white cable knit pattern on here. I just thought it would be fun. I've colored with COPIC markers to give a sweater a cable knit look, and I thought it would look really fun on this little coffee cozy. So that's what I did. Then I'm outlining it on the edge with my W2 and blending that out with my W0. Now for the rolled over or folded over edge of this, I am doing W4 as my darkest, blending that out with W2 and W0. I'll do the same to the bottom part of it, and that will finish up the cozy for now. Now for the whipped cream, I went with a neutral gray because I felt like cool gray might be just a little bit too much since I'd used warm grays on that cozy. So I'm just adding some shadows to the whipped cream to make the white part seem more white. It really helps bring the whipped cream to life. And then I'm going to soften out those edges with my N0 marker, and that will be it for the whipped cream, quick and easy. For my cup, I'm starting with my darkest color. This is BG72, and then I will come in with BG13. It's much brighter. The the darkest one, has like kind of a grayish undertone to it, so it really helps with the shadowing. And then I'm blending that out with BG10. I'm going to do the same exact thing on the bottom portion of the cup as well, and I'll just go over this a couple times on both sections to really perfect the blend. There's quite a bit of difference between my darkest and lightest, so just resaturating it and going over it again really helps with the blend and kind of darken out my lightest areas. So I like how that turned out. Then I'm going to color in the sprinkles with my lightest color R24, and then just put a dot of my darkest color R29. All right, so now I'm going to bring in this winter sentiment stamp set from the Not Too Shabby shop, and I'm going to bring a post-it note in to do a little bit of cheater masking and stamp my snowflake image with white ink in and around just the cup portion of this image. And that just gives it a little bit of, you know, kind of decoration, and I love the subtle look of it. It helps it have something but not be too busy at the same time. So I love snowflakes for things like this. It's two stamps I think you always need for the holidays are little snowflakes and a little holly and berry stamp, which I will use on this card as well. So there you can see what that looks like. I love how it turned out. Now my standalone die set I'm using are the Stitched Oliver's ABCs from Fawn, and I'm going to die cut out from red cardstock the word joy, and that's going to go on my little cozy here. Now when I glued these on, I really just felt like I couldn't get it centered. I don't know. So I just left it where it was, and that's when I decided to bring in a holly stamp. This is the set A Creature is Stirring from Fawn, and it has a cute little holly. Gotta have it. So I'm stamping that with some Copic friendly ink, and I will color those out so that they are red and green, and I used G19 as my darkest there. It has a little bit of a tealish undertone, so I thought that green would go really well with my kind of turquoisey colored cup. So I'm going to glue those three in and around the word joy, which I feel kind of helps mask the fact that it's not even on the cozy or quite straight or something. So I decided I was going to color the lip of that the same color as the cup. I wasn't sure at first. Then I added some white highlights to my holly and berries and sprinkles and my cup, and it was right about then I realized, oh my word, there's supposed to be coffee under that whipped cream. Sometimes I'm slow to get things today was one of those times. So I'm coloring that in with some E markers. E47 is my darkest, blending that out with E27, and then I will come back in with my lightest, E25, and just blend that out. I'm adding some stickles in the shade Diamond to my whipped cream as well, just to give it a little bit of sugary fun. And that finishes up the top part of the card, and I'm going to glue that to a red shaped card base, because I was going to put it on the white, but then I thought I wanted to bring in that red. So it's kind of a lot, but I like it. It really helps draw the eye in. And then I'm using some other pieces and a sentiment from that same stamp set I got the snowflake from, and putting that on the inside of the card. And I have another video showing how I used my silhouette to cut out the images from that stamp set right there, the winter sentiments. So I will link that for you at the end of this video. And now it is time to click over and see what Biddy Penny made for this challenge. I'm sure you're gonna love it. I just got a little sneak peek of it, so I can't wait to click over and watch. Her link is in the description box below, along with all the things I used to make today's card. So feel free to check that out. If you're new here, I'd love for you to subscribe. I have new videos all the time. So I will see you again very soon, and happy stamping. Bye.